that Nora had this corpse wrapped in a in a trash bag or a blanket or
I
something
was
with her.
obfuscating.
Well, yes, you were obfuscating. That's true. But that's true. I mean, it's kind of interesting to realize that he drove you the whole way to Helsingborg with this thing in the car with him. But I suppose that's what obfuscate does. I suppose
Yeah,
that's
because
what it does.
so long I don't like drop it, so long I
Right. That's
carry it
true.
or
No,
wear
and you
it.
didn't. Remember, you spent vitae actually to keep yourself, or willpower, one of the two. You kept yourself
Yeah.
going, and so you earns that you didn't drop it. You earned that. So I get that. So okay, he wouldn't remember about the body. You're right about that because you are this never remember Meket person.
So
But
what you're basically saying is that we are, if we're going to feast on this poor guy, that would like steal valuable time from
it is
executing
I
our
am simply setting up all of the variables. And yes, it would take some time and it would leave you with a corpse, and it's not impossible to do. You could do it, but we do have roles, right? I mean, we do have roles to do in order to succeed at this.
Yeah.
You are not, for example, in your easy feeding grounds and herd like you were before.
No, this is Helsingborg.
Right. So
Okay.
so that's I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just telling you all of the variables. So you're in the parking lot. It is this black night, and the driver is, signing for this, and he's saying something like, "Well, that was weird." And as he's getting into his van to go away, so there's I suppose Hans, who is busy with these patients, can think a moment and say, do I really need to do something about that driver or not? And that's up to you.
Yeah, okay.
We
If I
might
can't
need
kill
him
him,
later.
sure. I'm just going to use Vitae. I mean, yeah, I mean, I will, because I don't want anybody to be able to remember anyway.
Okay.
If he can die, sure.
I
So
I don't know what you are doing.
He can die, but it's like up to you to choose, like if you want to use your time for it.
I'm asking you what Hans does.
Yeah.
It's no, I want to spend time doing something else. So okay, I'm just going to make him forget.
Okay. Spend the vitae.
Done.
Right. So we have a moment where, you lean over to him and tell him what to remember. So Nathan, do you want to tell us what you tell him? Again, this is not massively important for the plot. I am just getting, just getting you a little bit of.
I don't know. It doesn't sound to matter much. So, I'm just going to tell him.
Can I make a suggestion? He can remember like arty stuff about.
No,
can you basically tell him anything?
Yeah.
I just want. He took a van. He will remember that.
Yeah.
He will remember that he took people in the van.
Right.
I'm just going to say that the body was alive, and ladies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. But, yeah.
Okay. So you are just going to tell him some details that make the whole thing less weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
less weird.
Okay.
So it's plausible, and he can
maybe. The patients was like.
I don't know.
To get more closer to home because they may be like was hurt like abroad instead.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So in that case, then we will simply head into the clinic, and we will now investigate some of the terrible things that I have set up for dice rolling. Everyone, we have an experiment to conduct. And
is there any other vampires in this facility except from us? That we know of.
No, there are no other vampires here, and the staff has been cleared out for the night. This has been the the clinic at this time is yours.
Good.
The normal functions of the clinic will begin again in the morning, but only on the bottom floor, the ground floor. That is the plan. And then I am going to power plus finesse. Okay. I am going to. So if it's hiding, opposite 3. Okay.
While you are doing something, I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I mean, we are all gathered now, all the 4 of us.
Right.
And I mean, and I'm talking toward, I'm like, I'm probably talking right straight out in the air, but I'm addressing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, like, you must see me as a kind of a clown or something, and I'm wearing my corpse paint
Mm-hmm.
still. But you're actually important to me, or no, not in the kind of like you're my best friend's important to me, but we are important. All of us, and the things that I add to this thing is not like clown stuff, but I actually have something important to add in this experiment. And the problem is that I have only the parts, and I have not yet connected the dots. I have the dots, but I'm not connected them. So I'm telling you this because it will be hard for us to succeed in a good way here. And I think we all need to collaborate in order to connect the dots.
You definitely do. What this means, I think, is that if you go to the diagram of the experiment, it is time for you to decide what roles you are going to make at each arrow and who is going to help, who is going to be the primary vampire and who is going to be the helpers at each arrow.
We go through the process again and what each step does, just
Well, that's
Minder.
the yeah, go ahead. So
Oh, I'm asking you. Could you?
I know,
go
but I'm seeing if anyone else remembers actually. Remember the step 1 is to drain all of these people's. Solveig was supposed to drain all of their blood.
But I'm
Wait.
looking at.
Or do I have that wrong? No.
Yeah, you have that wrong.
Okay.
The first
Because I'm
thing-
looking up something else. Go ahead.
First
step.
thing, first step is this is the original plan, I guess.
Right, correct.
No? But
Correct.
and then that is to give. Depends on who is who in this like diagram.
The one in the one in the suit is Austin.
Yeah. Austin's the one arrow goes towards Solveig from Austin. So
That's all of his blood going into Solveig.
exactly. Then all of Solveig's blood goes into the test subjects.
That's right.
Then the test subjects' blood goes into the chemical Dr. Balthasar experiment made, and then that goes back into or stain.
Mhm.
And then I do something magical. And what I actually think is that we all do something magical. Because at that stage, we will have to connect the dots.
Right.
I think I
ahead,
saw
Owen. Yeah.
above the arrow, it's the street art thing, and I think yours part was to like prepare something, or like your street art was supposed to like activate something or influence.
The idea
Okay.
was that you were actually conducting kind of an occult ritual with that art.
Yes.
So you can imagine that the whole room has to be painted and drawn on and, set up so that Solveig is standing there, framed by this incredible symbol as the sun
Exactly.
strikes him.
And this, I think I have not planned this, but this will appear to me during this process.
Even if
That's
you
what
planned
I think.
it, your inspiration of the moment is what you will rely upon.
Exactly. It's not the painting itself that makes this work. It's the doing of the making of the painting.
Correct.
So, what we basically have now is a dead Ostain, and his blood. If you put his blood, so we have to basically start somewhere, and that is to get the blood from the torpor into Ostain, and then back again into. Or am I wrong? Because we have to. Because he's dead, this will not happen.
Right.
This will not work.
Because he's dead, he has to be resurrected as a vampire.
Yeah.
And to do that.
Wait, was it?
Go ahead.
I think was it important if he was a vampire or not, or was it just
Well,
his
it
blood?
was important, and that's why Ansa and Ejdesh have revised the experiments. They are waving like a dirty piece of paper that says, no problem, we'll do it this way.
And so I basically think that this will. So this is where we have to start. I mean,
Yeah.
Answer and I, we have that plan
And
figured out.
We are making Solveig a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew,
No,
one
sorry,
part
the
about
Austin.
one thing about making a vampire. Doing that is a breaking point, and you burn a willpower. You don't spend, you burn.
Which sounds
That's
fantastic.
You remove.
I love that idea. And
Whatever. We have a plan. We will do it.
Yes.
she has an aspiration, and she means
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
and I guess that it's not we,
Mm-hmm.
but it's technically it's not we making the vampire. It's actually Solveig making the vampire.
Well, hold
right?
on. This is important, though. You need Solveig's vitae, and Solveig does not have a lot of vitae right now.
No.
So
But
that
that's
means
part of that.
so that would mean you would have the only possible substitute is one of Solveig's children, which is to say one of the vampires that Solveig has made. Fortunately, you have one.
And that's Hans.
Nope, that is Nora.
Ah, good. Nora, come here.
No problem.
No. I suppose it's at this point that Nora suddenly realizes, wait a minute, I do what? That was not in the plan.
I think
No,
I'm
but
preparing a syringe and the thing that you like mix drinks with.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
we can extract something from Solveig still, right?
Yes, you can.
It's-
Just
and,
not like too much, like just
we have to change the recipe a bit.
That's the idea,
But
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So who's burning what?
Well, if we go and to make this work so that, okay, then some of this vitae must come from Nora. And then,
And
whoever-
she's somewhat interested in like reviving her sire. So
right, right. And so then the question then is, can this, since this is not really textbook by the rules, right, to use it from the childer, mixing it with some of the sire and, making this work, this is vampire science now. That means we need a vampire science role to be involved. And so that means that our resident scientist has to get this right. Because otherwise you will just end up with a couple of badly drained vampires and a bunch of unusable gunk. And that's not good, right?
So I will of course help. I think I'm invested in this. And the way I understood help from the first last time, I will tell. I decide how I will help, and then
Right.
I roll the die. My luck's add dice.
Yes. It will give a bonus die.
Yeah. And in this case, do I do that now? Or
no, I need to set this scene a little bit better. Let's make sure we know where we are. We are actually in that corner of the building that has been connected to the purple part. So you are in this area with all of this scientific equipment. And I also want to describe this general area. This general area is this whole floor, this whole clinic is very modern and very calming, right? It's one of these places that's supposed to look medical and calming at the same time, which, in my opinion, always creates kind of a disturbing atmosphere. I don't know about you, but whenever you go to one of these specialty clinic places, you're kind of like, look, is this a hospital or is this, someone's vacation getaway? It's kind of a cross between the two, and it doesn't work for me. So it has that general appearance, so there's a nice carpet on the floor, but the chairs are all very metal functional, right? They don't go